Hello and welcome to Intermittent Gaming. We're playing a bit of Monster Hunter World today, and we're hoping to try and help you answer the question: is Monster Hunter World for you? It's getting a lot of buzz, a lot of praise, but a lot of people are still very unsure what the game is, how it works, and therefore whether or not it's worth dropping, $60 or 40, 45 pounds on, or whichever territory you're in. So we're going to just examine some. We're still quite early on in the game, but we've played enough of it to kind of have an idea of how some of the mechanics work, and we've sort of dipped enough toes in at this point to feel like we can give you a bit of an informed insight into how some of Monster Hunter works. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce my character and just make a few changes to him, show you how some of the quests work, and show you how the hub world works. Okay, so at the moment we are in the home kind of hub, which is called Astera, and this is an area that you can just walk around. We have different areas that are kind of feed into the main game. So here is the resource center. You speak to these guys, they will give you different missions. So I'll just click on this here. Actually, I don't think I've finished any. So if you finished a simple mission, a collection mission, or what do they call them? So we've got bounties. So this is just like little one-off missions that you can go on that are kind of happening in the background all the time. So you can complete a bounty whilst you're in another mission. So if I just click on this register bounties, you can see one of my bounties at the moment is pick field mushrooms. So if I pick field mushrooms, I'll get some. You see on the bottom there, if I gather mushrooms 8 times, which I've gathered 4 of the 8 since I took on this bounty, and I'll get research points, which can be used in game as a kind of currency, but a specific currency towards developing certain things that you might need to research. So weapons, armor, that sort of stuff. And Palico equipment, which I'll come back onto, and also armor spheres, or in this case Armor Sphere Plus, which again I'll come back onto later on. So those are the bounties I've got registered at the moment. It's a very good idea, we've discovered, to keep these bounties full. You'll be completing them all the time. A lot of them are quite simple quests, so every time you come back to the hub world, come back to Astera, you want to go to the resource center and collect any rewards you've got for completing your bounties, and then assign new bounties. There's always new ones to assign. So you just register bounties. You can see there's some different ones. So there's mushroom one, but you can have a look at the requests. There's bone piles, honey, entomology request, research progress. So wild spire waste, that's just one of the early areas in the game, and you can complete a quest just by completing other quests in there. You'll achieve that bounty. And then there's large monster hunting. It'll get you to hunt so many large monsters, which again, when we get into questing, or we'll probably go on an expedition, you'll see the difference between the monster sizes, or some of the monster sizes there. So that's the resource center. That's just some people, one area that you can do. So you have some delivery quests. We can deliver items here. So I've only done a couple so far, but so when you've done, so usually it involves collecting certain items or looking for certain things. That one's for, they're just done for different people that you'll speak to in Astera. So that's your delivery is just another type of quest. So bounties is one type. Deliveries, you'll usually get a delivery quest from one of the non-playable characters that you'll speak to in the game. Then you've got investigations. Now I've only just started dipping a toe into these as well. These work similarly to the bounties, except they have a time limit on them, and they have you can only have so many attempts at them, and they offer some decent rewards as well. So you can see there, couple of them, they've got a slaying investigation. I need to go out and slay 20 Vespoid, which is a type of small creature. It doesn't really bother you much. You just got to track 20 of them down, kill them. You'll complete that investigation. And you can see the rewards there. There are 3 random rewards that we'll get from that one, and you'll also get some reward money. So I'll get 2,340 Zenny for completing that simple quest. I've got a lot kind of ticked off there at the moment that are all kind of Vespoid ones. purely because it's very easy to do, and you know, as long as you can do it well within the time. 50 minutes quite a long time, and because I'm quite early in the game still, I thought it was worth just trying to kind of chip away at some of them. But again, you can dip it. There's always new ones coming in, so even though they might be time limited and only get so many attempts to do them, there's always more coming on as well. I mean, these ones are all relatively low level. There's only two, you know, sort of 2-star quests there, but they do get hard. I've got up to 3-star, I think, at the moment, which is slightly more difficult. Offer a little bit more money, sometimes a little bit less time to do them as well. And then again, that's just another sort of, all of these, this whole area here is kind of side quests. So you can choose to do a lot of them. They all benefit you because you'll get the money, you'll get the armor spheres, you'll get research points. It's worth doing them. But they're all, it's just like a little side quest hub that you can go within the main hub area. You'll see popping up the side there as well, different people posting quests and joining the session. Now that basically works. How the sort of Monster Hunter servers work is there'll be 16 people on your, up to 16 people on your kind of online session, if you want. Now these 16 people will just be walking around. They'll be in the sessions. You don't have to interact with them at all if you don't wish. Okay, but if I go over to a quest board, you'll see here I can join a quest. So I'm in an online session. There are 16 other people out there who are questing in our session. And if I want to join a quest, that basically gives me the option to go and link up with a player who's already started a quest. So if I press on that, there's different tiers. So there's available quests, so that's people who are about to start a quest and have said, yeah, I want some people to join me on the quest. And you can join them. The other one is to respond to SOS. Now that basically means that if someone is in a quest partway through and thinks, you know what, I want some help with this, they can launch an SOS flare and you can go and jump into that mission. Sometimes the missions will only have 2 people, sometimes, usually it's 4 people. So I'm not going to jump into a quest right now, we'll come back to quests. Pardon me. I'm just going to do it. So again, you can kind of set the search criteria here for the SOS flares. So because I'm still quite low ranking, I've kept mine on low rank, but you can specify the star quests if you want. Okay, I've just gone for any quest that's for relatively low rank. Quest types, you can change these to optional quests, assignments, event quests, etc, etc, or no preference. And again, to get the most options from your responding to SOS flares, best to just set no preference and then see what's there. So if I click on this, it'll start searching for anyone that's recently launched an SOS flare, and it's telling me that at the moment there's someone who's on an assigned quest. Now that's like your main story missions, so someone's on an assigned quest and needs help. There's also some of the optional, which is your side quests. These are things like it might be research quests, just looking for or taking down certain certain creatures, or collection quests as well. So we've got 3 quests there, optional quests, all at 4 stars. You can see here it says reward. Now that one is the reward that you get rewards for completing quests. If you join a quest early enough, so I think it's within the first 10 minutes, you are entitled to the rewards for joining that quest before it's gone too far. Other ones, you see that one started 21 minutes ago, so at this point I can't get the rewards because I might jump into the end of that quest. Yeah, I might help a little bit, but the quest might be nearly done by that point, so it doesn't just hand out rewards too easily. And that one 34 minutes ago, so they've been on that quest quite a while. So I can get rewards by jumping into that quest, and that's just one of the optional ones. Likewise with the signed quests, these are story missions. Now as far as I'm aware, you can only jump into story missions that other people are requesting help with if you have already done that story mission, or if that's the next one for you to do. So you can't like jump miles ahead in the story. And again, we've got a couple of quests there that have just started. But the advantage to me jumping in and helping someone or with their request is A, I'm going straight into someone who's not fighting alone, so there's going to be at least 2 of us, if not 4. Usually the requests that I've done, so I'm not spoiling anything for myself, but I get the benefit of being able to help someone out, but also I'll receive rewards for that quest, and that might be rewards for just completing the quest, so money and items and things, but also because you're involved in the quest of taking down one of these beasts, you can also gather the resources for that quest. So it's got like a double benefit there by just going back out and hunting a monster with someone or alongside someone. Also, it's a good way to try out new weapons, I found, because you're always fighting alongside someone or multiple people, so you can kind of get a feel for a new weapon even if you're not that comfortable with it or not that sure of it, but you'll be able to kind of rely on the other people helping you out as well in order to get through it. So, and it's good when if you launch an SOS flare, it means that the people that come in to help you, so if I'm in the middle of a mission and I'm struggling, I launch the flare, people that come in to help me are going to be experienced, and usually at least a little bit more experienced than I am. The difficulty does shift to account for the multiplayer aspect as well, which is good. Otherwise you could just make it very, very easy. And it's always challenge, but it always feels like it's, you know, if you get it right, you're gonna win the challenge at this stage in the game. I hear the difficulty ramps up later on, but hopefully you've got a lot more experience by then, and you can use some of the more nuanced systems to get your head around taking down bigger and badder foe. Right, let's move away from this. So that's just your quests there. You can do that on a quest spot. Post a new quest. That is just if I want to set off on a story quest or my own specific side missions, which I can then choose. Do I want someone to jump into my game or do I not, as I'm playing through it? I've soloed quite a lot of them, but I've also used the SOS flare a few times as well. I've also responded to a lot of SOS flare just because it's fun. It's just fun just jumping in and helping people out. Right, but we will come back to this. So, what else have we got then? So we have in the hub world we have Poogie, which I still haven't worked out what he's for, what he does. I don't know why he's there, but he's there. There's a couple of other people. Now, you don't have all of this right away, but there's certain missions that can be unlocked that relate to these other NPCs. I won't give too much away here, but you've got a couple of people here that you might be asking, and they might be able to basically give you new quests, give you new optional side quests, and unlock new items, weapons, or that sort of thing. We've also got here the botanical research, so as well as going out and collecting resources that you need, if there's something that you're trying to get a lot of, like at the moment I'm trying to make a lot of mega potions. So a potion restores a bit of health, mega potion restores a lot of health, but in order to do that I need standard potions, which could be easily crafted with herbs, but you also need honey. So I thought, well, there's not as much honey out there in the world, so I'll grow some. So that's what I've been doing, but now I've probably got too much honey, to be honest, so I need to change what I'm growing at the botanist. But don't worry too much about that. Again, that's all optional, you can completely ignore that and it shouldn't hurt you too much, but if you do engage with it, it is a benefit, so it's worth at least investigating for a while. What I'm going to do though is I'm just going to nip back here and go into, this is my my room. So within Astera I've got like a space that's just my space. Monsters, or at least as far as we know, monsters don't attack this. This is a well-guarded area, so you're sort of free to roam around, speak to people, investigate new quests and do upgrades to armour and weapons. But that all starts off in your room. So I'm going to head in here and kind of just give you a bit of the layout of what you do, because the game's very much sort of split into two phases. Phase 1 is rocking the hub world, going collect, deciding what your missions are going to be, sorting out what weapons and armour you're going to be. Now this is a slightly upgraded room. Your first room isn't quite this nice, but it doesn't take long to get to this one. So here is my item box. In here I have everything that I have collected or stored. So you can see that's my item pouch, that's what I'm taking with me. But then over there in the item box, this is all the stuff that I've sort of collected and stored away for now. So it's split into ammo here and items at the top. So I've got a lot of potions there, and a lot of different things for me. Crafting ammo, I've got some well done steak, which it gives you a stamina boost when you're out in the field, but I've already got full stock of that. So yeah, so I've got my mega potions here and my light potions there. And then all these basically crafting materials for ammo and other potions and things. So those are all the ones I've got in storage. Over here, in my active item pouch, I always try to take 10 mega potions, 10 standard potions, some antidote, some rations, or some of the steak that gives you a boost of stamina. Actually, I'm just going to transfer some the well-cooked steak, wherever that was. Where have I put it? There it is. I'm going to transfer some of this. It says switch at the bottom. If I click on that, it will let me put some into here. It'll ask me how I want to put it. I'm going to stick 10 of those in there so I can give myself not just replenish stamina, but actually give it a bit of a stamina boost before I go into a big fight. So I've kind of got that available as well. But yeah, so for the lot part, I've collected a lot. I haven't kind of dived massively into the crafting yet. I've done a tiny bit of crafting, but I understand the principle. It's usually take this item and that item, put them together, it makes a new item. It's not usually any more complex than that. But I mean, it's there as much as you want to kind of dive into it. So that's my manage items. That's just the things you collect and get given and find in the game. There is a crafting list here, so I could take some of those items here. So you can see there I've got mega potion. To make a mega potion I need a normal potion and I need honey. I've got quite a lot of both. So I can boost if I choose to. So I'll click on that and so yeah, it says I can confirm that I want to craft that and it'll give me or I can craft a few of them at once. So probably imagine let me do up to 34 because that's how much honey I've got. I don't know if there's another use for honey yet, so I'm not going to do all of it, but I've said do 15. So there we go, I've got 77 mega potions now from my original standard potions, which are not so useful now, because if you're getting hit by big stuff you tend to get a lot knocked off and you want to hit it with a mega potion straight away. But yeah, so that's just some of the stuff you can craft. You can craft herbal medicine there, you can craft mega nutrients, something I haven't discovered yet. But yeah, there's all kinds of stuff available once you've got the stuff you need to craft it. Not, as I say, I've only spent tiny amounts of time there. Items that you're not using or you can sell. Don't think I've got anything left to sell just now. Change equipment. Now this is quite good because you've got a lot of freedom here with the weapons. Now, if you're like me and not a quick decision maker, this is of benefit to you because it's a very easy way. It basically stores all you. I spent a lot of time trying to pick what weapon I was going to start with, and then once I had them, realised that I can go and change it at any point. Now, why you might want to eventually pick a weapon and go down that path is that you develop the weapon, you develop your knowledge of it as a player and your skills using it, but you start to invest in that particular weapon in terms of the resources that you use to kind of upgrade the weapon. Now, it's still pretty lenient on you because if you upgrade a weapon, you spend a bit of money and some of the resources to improve the weapon. If you then decide, actually, I'm moving off that weapon now, and you want some of those resources that you've used to upgrade it, and you think, oh, I wish I'd spent them over on this weapon instead, you can do. You can downgrade a weapon, you get all the resources back. You don't get any of the money back, but you get all of the resources back from downgrading the weapon, and you can spend them elsewhere. So at any point, I could drop out from the weapon that I'm using and switch to something completely different, and I would be able to upgrade that at a certain, to a certain level as well anyway, as long as I had the money to do it. So at the moment, I've got the hard bone rod, and again, to give you a bit of an idea, you can play a little movie or a little tutorial, very brief one, of how the bone rod works. So what I quite like about this weapon is exactly that. It says reckoned it's sort of middling for beginners. There's better weapons for beginners, but there's also much worse weapons for beginners. So what I like about it is its mobility. You can get yourself up into the air and out of harm's way, or launch yourself into attack, which is quite good fun. But it also has this really unusual aspect of, it has something called a kinsect. Now that's, as it sounds, basically it's like a bug that you work alongside. And the bug you can send out to attack a monster, and sort of like absorb some of its power, and then it'll bring it back to you, and you'll get a buff. So you might buff your attack, or it might buff your defense, or it might buff your character's movement speed, or if you can take the time to do it, you can get all three. Now they don't last forever, obviously. They only last for a couple of minutes or so, but you can do it again, do it as many times as you want to during the battle, and it's quite an unusual weapon, but I really enjoy using it. The other one that I've spent a bit of time with so far, apart from the sort of standard hunter's knife, the sword and shield, that was just like the thing that felt most familiar when I booted up the game. But I would definitely recommend trying a few of the different weapons, because all of them have strengths and weaknesses. All of them are fun to play with. The other one that I've used a bit more is, hang on, let me just try and find it. It's one of the Chain Blitz, I think it was. Now this one is like a gun essentially, but I think it's like an automatic crossbow, I suppose. But you can use, there's loads of different ammo types, and you can craft lots of ammo and use lots of different ammo. So piercing ammo, cluster bombs, so you've got explosions, or you've got that's going to deal damage through armor, or you've got you've got infinite standard ammo, but you can then upgrade that ammo and have so much of it. And it's quite easy to upgrade. It's quite easy to buy or craft the ammo that you need, but you do need to remember to do it after every major hunt. Otherwise, you'll go out there and you'll hardly have any ammo left whatsoever. But yeah, it's quite good. I'll just play the little movie of it.
It lets you fire a variety of ammo.
So why I like it is it's still quite mobile. It's still quite, you sort of can move around a lot with it and get out of the way. But it's like a completely different way of playing than the other weapon. It's not as mobile. You're not going to launch it into the air, but you can also sort of plant bombs in the ground. It doesn't really show you on here, but sort of plant. I think it's called, I don't know, Wyvern something. But and if the monster's near those when you attack it, it'll do it. Yeah, it's doing one there. Look on the little video. Just plant them nearby. If you then shoot the monster with those nearby, it'll do a lot of additional damage. So, those weapons, it's not just a run and gun, and it's not hack and slash run and gun. You actually have to think and play tactically, but not so tactically that it's inaccessible. And if you want to just run around and block stuff with your shield and hit stuff with your sword, you can do. There's that option too. But it's nice just to have such a variety on offer, and not be punished particularly for going down one track over another. I've really enjoyed that about this game. I think it's really cleverly structured that way. Like I could start a brand new weapon today. I could try the Iron Lance today, and I wouldn't be at a huge disadvantage because I'd have materials to upgrade it to a certain degree. I could downgrade my other weapons and get some of those materials back if I wanted to, and get my Iron Lance up to a similar level as the weapon that I'm currently using. So
The defense
look
phase
at this one.
used to approach targets with charges and fancy footwork.
Yeah, so I think this one's all to do with getting your positioning right. It's a big shield to keep you sort of relatively safe as you hop your way in and hop your way out again. But it says it's not easy for beginners, and as I'm still a beginner, I haven't ventured into that one yet. But I probably will do. I think I'll probably give them all a go at one point or another. It's just good fun. Right, so let's come out of this and let's go down to change appearance. Now, there is a certain amount of character creation at the start of the game. You're picking your gender, your face, your eyes, your nose, your mouth, blah, blah, blah. But you still can make some changes, not complete changes, but you can make some changes even after you've started, as long as you're at equipment box here. So I can change my hairstyle, and just have a bit of a play around with what you like. I think that's one of the default ones. Yeah, so there's quite a lot of choice in that as well. That's the one I just got. That's the one of the characters, a downloadable one, free downloadable one to get an additional hairstyle for a couple of the different characters. What I do quite like is that the hairstyles are open to all, so it doesn't matter if you've picked a male or a female character. If you want what would be typically seen as, you think, oh, well, that's a female hairdo, those little bunches there. But if I want that on my male character, yeah, go for it. Why not? You know, if you want your long hair to be look a little bit more looked after, a little bit more cared for, there's that option there. So I've been rocking this one at the moment, the kind of sort of swept back. I tried to make Solid Snake because I'm a big Metal Gear fan, and that was as close as I got. But yeah, I can have a bit of a play around with that as well. I quite like old Snake, so I keep sort of messing around with the hair colour, not so much the style, but I keep thinking, messed that up. So go back into hairstyle, got to change colour, and you can just sort of play around and see what colours you like. You know, it just gives the hair a bit of a flavour of that colour. So whether it's purples and what have you. And I know these all look quite mild, but that's because down in the settings, I mean, if I want bright blue hair, I can do it. I just need to pick one of these as a starting point. So if I jumped into that one as a starting point, and then I come down to the colour palette, hue, saturation, so we're on kind of blue already there. But so now if I go to saturation and push that up, we've got some blue hair. And if I think, oh, I want it, you know, bright blue, I want it a bit more in your face, okay, there we go, that's an option. If you want to rock around with turquoise hair, go for it. Colour options are amazing on this. I've been really impressed by it. However, I'm not one for such outlandish colours, but I do quite like the sort of old man Metal Gear Solid's old Snake look, so I'm going to just mess around with this a bit more. Going for the facial hair there, change the colour of that. And again, you can make as many changes to that as I want. So if you want a dark hair and bright beard, or bright hair and dark beard, just mess around with it as much as you want, really. Let's come down to this again. Push the brightness down a little. There we go. And I think, I can't remember all of the different facial hairstyles you want, but yeah, I think if you want the kind of Dick Van Dyke Snake from Metal Gear Solid 4, that's absolutely an option as well. Which incidentally, I don't, so I'm going to go back to one of the beards. Go for that one for now. There we go. So, the clothing, I don't really know, I've still not discovered why this is an option. You can change sort of your underclothing, your undergarments, but they do not feature in the game, or at least have not featured in the game as yet, outside of this screen. So unless you're planning on coming and looking at your partially dressed character model regularly, there is really no reason to have that in there, but it is. Okay. You'll also notice, or may have noticed, that my character is not wearing their headgear, not wearing their helmet as I'm wandering around. Now that's pure choice on my part. I can put it on, it's just hidden in an options menu that if you want. I've still got the benefits from wearing armour over the head, but I prefer, particularly for the helmet that I've currently got, I prefer not wearing it. I prefer it, you know, still having the stat boost, the stat benefits from it, but not actually having it on my head, because it's pretty ugly, to be honest. But again, that's something you can kind of just play around with.
Let's go on an expedition out in the Great Ravine. I'll tag along.
Right, so me and Old Man Snake are going to carry on wandering around, just show you a couple more areas of the hub world. So if we kind of come up here, we can go to the workshop, which is just here. And in the workshop you have, this person will sell you armour and weapons, this person will craft you armour and weapons. So we're going to go ahead and have a look at some crafting, just see what our options are here. I've not been to look for a while, but you should keep coming back fairly regularly, especially if you find yourself running into a wall. Probably means either your weapon or your armour or both need upgrading. Don't think I've got a huge amount of new resources to craft with since our last game here though. But we'll have a look anyway. So we can forge equipment, that gives us the option of forging weapons or armour, so just basically making your base weapons or your new armour. So my weapons basically are here. As you unlock new materials by getting into new areas or finding new monsters, the options increase. So if I were to take something like my insect glaive that I'm currently using, at the moment I've got iron bone, or this one called Flammenkäfer, which is a great word, but I do not have the resources to make that yet, or the money in fact, so I need to go, and you can see there, Anjanath, fangs, pelts, tails and plates. I need to go out and hit that monster a lot if I want to get that base weapon. Now at the moment you can see, if you have a look at the Flammenkäfer, it's base weapon, so the version 1 if you like, does 403 attack, and that's coloured in red at the moment because that's telling me that actually that isn't even as good as the weapon I've currently got. The difference is that I'll be able to upgrade the Flammenkäfer further and probably make it more powerful than my current weapon. So there's certainly a lot of options in there when it comes to your weapons as well. So to kind of show you the tree here, this is for the iron blade that I'm using. So the skill, the path that I've gone to, I could have used an iron one, an iron base, and then upgrade along the different paths and sort of end up with different weapons, different options that have got different benefits. So I've got a sort of blooming glaive there. It gives me a health boost on my insects. Poison is the element, that kind of thing. You don't always have all the info. I've started, the one I'm using at the moment, it started as a bone rod. So I've started with a bone on the bone tree. And currently I am upgraded to hard bone rod 1. But you can see there that if I can get enough of the resources, I can take that a step further to the Flammenkäfer. But I could also choose to come back out this way and go for one of these water ones, Aqua Rod, and then whatever that ends up being called, and Pulsar Rod. But I need to unlock the resources for these different trees before I can do that. I'm not that far into the game yet, so I can't do that. It's the same with the armour. You know, as you meet more monsters, they all have kind of a set. So the Vespoids, I've been killing a lot of Vespoids lately, and so I've now unlocked the ability to craft Vespoid armour. Now again, it's fairly low level, so I'm not really going to bother with any of it, but had I bothered to do it, I quite like the look of that. That was pretty cool. And you can upgrade the armour to a certain point, but they all have an upgrade cap. The rarer they are starting armour, the higher the cap will be. So at the moment I'm using this helmet here, the Puke hood, but the reason it's saying 12 in red, even though it's one is because I've upgraded it, so my hood is better defense than 12. I'm using the Jura coil kind of belt, Kodachi van braces, and then I've just upgraded to these Anja greaves. So again, their base defense is 20. I've upgraded it since, so they're slightly better now. And I could upgrade to the Anja helm as well for better defense, which could then be upgraded. But I haven't really decided where to go with this yet. You know what? I'm just going to go for it. I'm going to see what this one looks like, just as an example. So we forge it. The guys get to work. Doesn't take long. And there we go. I have a new helmet that I can wear, and then choose to either have it on or not. So if I have it on, that's how my character would look. Looking like a fat knight at the moment, but I'll probably leave it off for the time being. And then if I want, I can then go into upgrading equipment. So again, I can look at, we've already looked at the weapons, not really the ability to upgrade it particularly at the moment. But I should be able to upgrade my armour. Have a quick look at this just to see if there is any element to it that I can do, but I don't think so. No, I need more of everything. So if I go and find my helmet on my equipment, the one I've just upgraded, so this Anja helm, this is where the armor spheres come in. So some of those side missions that I mentioned before, this gives you the option to use them to upgrade your armor, and so you get quite a lot more side missions you do, the more of them you'll get, so the more you'll be able to upgrade. So at the moment I've got I think I've got 8 armor spheres and 5 armor sphere plus, and you'll see a change, a buff to my stats on the Anja helm the more I upgrade. So if I go for this one, see a little bit of an upgrade there, nothing substantial, but if I do enough of them, it will push me into that. So now I've got base defense is 22. If I go up even further, let's come down, just see what the difference is if I just go on Armor Sphere Plus. So one of these should offer a substantial buff. So that one's take me up a whole level. Same again with the next one. So if I want, there we go. And that puts it at maximum level. So that one will have a maximum base. Base level is 20, max level is 26. So I can use my Armor Sphere pluses on that, and I might as well do because there's probably more coming on my way. But it also costs me 1,080 Zenny. I've only got 1,800 left, but I'm going to go and do a lot of missions in a second, so I might as well. So now I've bought armor, and then I've upgraded that armor as well, so my overall defense is much better than it was. The Kinsects that I mentioned before here, I won't go into that right now because that's only interested if you're interested in using that weapon, and it's all very straightforward. So that's kind of the main areas of the hub world. There's quite a few little, all these people have got something to say and will have quests to send you on at one time or another. There is also the Gathering Hub, and that's all way to my room. But there's also Gathering Hub, which is just a different way of playing online. You can also set up and manage your squads there as well. So let's head out into this new area. I haven't seen this new area yet. So I've been prompted to depart on an expedition. If you just leave the sort of hub world of Astera, you can just choose where you want to go. So you start off, I think it was Ancient Forest, then Wildspire Waste. Now I've got the option to push into the Great Ravine, see what that's got to offer. So I'm expecting harder enemies, new hunts, and stuff that's going to test both my skills and the weapons and stuff that I've upgraded. So we're going to go ahead and jump into Expedition. Expedition, basically, you can complete some of the resource centre side quest stuff, but if you're on an expedition, you won't be tackling any of the main missions at that time. I think actually your handler, or sort of your number two, if you like, the person that arranges what missions you're going on, I think she's usually at the base as well, at the camp, sorry. So you can actually speak to her, and then you'll be able to sign a full mission as well, if you so choose. So phase 1 we've kind of just ended there, which is preparing for the hunt. So upgrading, replenishing resources, checking in with people, completing, dropping off things for quests, completing deliveries. That's one area of the game. That's a good half of the game right there. So what I've experienced so far, and it is immensely good fun. But it is very different to jumping into the action, which we're about to now. So, new area. First job will be to establish a camp. Don't know why we're getting a tutorial for moving around.
I think we can get through if we head this way.
But we are. So we've got a few different people here, NPCs I can probably have a little chat to if I wanted to. I'm not going to bother just yet. Those are people waiting for us to set up camp, basically. I think because this is kind of the sort of early bit of a new mission, if I were to go and try and launch an SOS flare at the moment, I couldn't do it right now because we're not really into a mission. We're just sort of setting up the mission. But on a normal expedition, one that's not tied to the story, you can invite people to just explore with you as well.
Zora Magdaros went straight through. We didn't even slow it down. I'm guessing there's something pretty important on the other side.
Let's see what we've got here.
Look at this massive fissure it made. This is the power of an Elder Dragon.
So we're going to go ahead and press on up the mountain. I'm not going to give too much in terms of story spoilers, but I will say that there is a story, which I honestly didn't realise. I thought it was like sort of just jump out there and hunt monsters then. But there is. There's story, there's characters, there's a lot more going on in it than I gave it credit for. after playing the beta,
I think we're getting close.
which didn't overly impress me, if I'm honest. But it really didn't do a good job of showcasing what the game is. Okay. Cool. Okay, Coral Highlands. Now the good thing about that is I've seen coral come up as one of the items I need to craft with, which I'm guessing means I'm going to find some around here.
We see down there.
It's like underwater, but not. I like it.
Come on, this way.
Uh-oh. What on earth is that dude? Okay, we could be on a gather our partner quest shortly. Oh no, we both fell. Ooh. This could get spoilery, so if you're looking to avoid any story, I would look away now. Every loading screen comes with these hunting tips, so you can learn quite a lot just by paying an ounce of attention there as well. But also, the tutorial menus you can jump into at any point. Ooh, we have a new location, I like this. Guessing that says research centre, but my visage is in the way. Oh, this
You
dude's
wait.
quite cool.
I don't know where we are.
Oh, there we go, we're back in control, so let's speak to this dude. Third Fleet, nice. That will make sense if you play the game. Ah, it said research base, that was close. Yeah, let's go to Coral Heights.
Doing a careful expedition into the Coral Highlands sounds like a good idea to me.
Okay, so this kind of looks like another hub type area, like Astera. Yeah, we've got a lot of these friendly dudes here. So I don't know if I need to equip that now or if it comes auto-equipped. Not clear.
Oh, yes.
Right. Can I do a bit more exploring down here before I head off on my expedition? Some Palico pals. Palicos are like a cat race in the game that pretty much function as your sidekicks.
Yes, yes. Hello.
Yeah, it looks like there should be another way down. I just can't quite work out how or where that is. That's my Palico pal there. Oh, I see, this is just an area, so my item box is here. Right, so if I go to change equipment, can I add? I can add a defense charm. Charm that boosts defensive skill. I guess that's pretty straightforward. Right, I guess we go exploring. Alright, so research base is like the new Astera. So Coral Highlands is a new area. We're going to find out what there is there. We'll possibly look at the mechanics to invite people to join us. We might not get anyone joining us. I don't tend to join expeditions myself. I tend to go more for their actual missions, but maybe people fancy just having a wander together. It's good if you're just resource gathering. Probably better if you're playing with an actual party, playing with friends that you know. Probably better than just sort of inviting randoms to come and gather resources with you. But I'm saying that. Hard to know without actually getting stuck in and trying it. Yeah, also apologies if I'm streaming through the PlayStation 4, which I think, as we know at this point, is a common problem.
Oh, yeah.
That it often puts your last broadcast title up instead of, so if you're expecting PUBG on the Xbox, sorry. Right, so at the start of each quest or expedition, there will be the item box here, which you can put stuff in or take stuff out of. There doesn't appear to be anything in it at the moment. If you're on a quest, sometimes there's quest-specific items in there, so always check that out. A couple of things to be aware of. Oh, I'm in the way of it. Wow, there's nowhere I can put myself on here. So I'll do it with the radial menu. Now you can do this, you can change between different items with left and right on the D-pad, but actually if I hold down L1 I can do it this way anyway. So you see there's lots of different items you can use, including the whetstone. Now I tend to have that one on by default, because you want to keep your weapon sharp to do the most damage and to not have any of your hits deflected. Every chance you get, sharpen that weapon. Now, it's already sharp anyway, but I was just thought I would show you it there. Now, I'm going to go out and attack stuff, see what we can find. Now, this looks as though I should be able to jump or rappel down. Whoa! Okay. So let's go find out what flora and fauna reside here. Ooh, a snow herb. So at this point we're just out gathering resources, getting the lay of the land, maybe establishing a new camp further in. Nothing that way. Just seeing what the place has to offer, filling out the map. And I'm sure before long we will come across something to attack. Ooh, old footprints. Where are they? Now your footprints, when you want to track a monster down, you start literally by tracking it. You look at old footprints, and eventually, if you keep following them, it will give you an idea of the monster that you're looking for. Now, no idea what we're searching for yet, but let's follow the prints. There we go. Got some kind of animal here. It's a bit brutal to just go in straight away and attack stuff, but I want to know what we're dealing with. I also want to gather some resources. Put your weapon away, you can actually gather. So it's Kelby that we're killing there, and we're going to gather some of this because it's just raw meat from these, which is handy but not massively. Ooh, white liver. Not hugely useful compared to what you get from some of the monsters. Right, we've got some just birds. Yeah, I don't think they're anything important. Water moth. Oh, it's a swimming animal. Warm pelt. This could be useful. Keep going this way for now. Follow the footprints, see what we... It looks like we're tracking two different monsters, but I'm not sure. Some honey there. Okay. Getting there. Hopefully we'll be able to actually track this beast down soon. Okay, oh, there we go, some things that look a bit more beastly here. Oh yeah, they're not keen on me. What kind of damage you can do these guys. Right, Shamos. So these are smaller monsters that we're coming up against at the moment. They are quite easy to kill, quick to take down, and there'll be a variety of them in each area. Usually something that will help revive. Ooh, Thunderbuff. Or some other benefit in the cave. What we've got here? Herb. So yeah, you can see there we've weapons now not so sharp. So if I take the whetstone Oh, all I need. There you go. And now we can just resharpen that weapon for the next encounter. There we go, that's all it takes. Keep gathering herbs, bones. So this is so that field research, that's all accounting towards my resource and research centre missions. So you know, even if there's nothing else done from this expedition, when I come back, I'll probably be able to have fulfilled one or two of those missions. Oh, here we go. That would be a large monster. See something. What's that? There we go.
Hey, partner.
So I'm just going to follow this for now. See where it goes. See what I can learn about it. Actually, it's asking me to search for the campsite. I'll press on. Some more bones here. Yeah. We'll see if we can establish a new camp. Harry!
Hi.
Yes, it's dream to get to the window.
I wondered who you were talking to.
Just my countless viewers. Yay, some crystal! How was Dogger?
Yeah, she got a bit overexcited.
Shit.
I forgot just how beautiful Chiswick Beach is.
Oh yeah, you go up there. Did you walk up there or did you drive?
No, drove to Chiswick. Well, first I drove to Boswick, and then I couldn't work out where I could park, so then I went to Chiswick.
Makes sense.
All I could see was like golf parking. I didn't know if I was allowed to park there.
Yeah, I don't think anyone seems to pay much mind around here, do they?
And then past that, it kept saying private road, no cars. I was like, yeah, so probably turn around and go back. Yeah, I'll drive to Chiswick, and then me and Dogger had fun at Chiswick. Well, she chased the ball a lot. It's a lovely beach.
Yeah, it's
Gorgeous.
nice. Thunderbug. Which reminds me, I've got some news you asked me to remind me later on to explain what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Just Thunderbug reminded me.
Is it good news?
Oh yeah, it's quite cool. Something I forgot to mention from last night as well,
Okay.
to give you a bit of context. Right, so at the moment we're just exploring, seeing if we can't find... Ooh, what's that? Oh no, I just feel mean. Seeing if we can find a good place to set up a new camp, but also just explore and fill out a bit more of a map. Just seeing what's around in this new area. It's quite a lot darker than the original area, but I like it. So just see me picking up various bugs, and now we're going to the field research bounty complete, so there'll be more things to collect. Possibly back at Astera for that, I'm not actually sure. 8 bugs. Okay, we'll take some of these. Ooh, what's that? More rocks or more tracks? That? No. So yeah, some of the stuff that I've needed, this coral crystal has been there for, needed in order to craft certain new weapons or armour, and I've not been able to because I don't know where it comes from, but now having finally progressed into this new area, there's quite a lot of it. So getting dragonite ore and a lot of other stuff. I don't know if there's a particular place I'm supposed to be going. There probably is actually an area that'll be good for the camp, but I kind of just wanted to have a look around to begin with. What's that? Oh, that's just one of them things again. I'm not going to kill it this time. So let's have a look. So this is the map. This is the areas that I've sort of discovered already. We've got the beast that I met earlier. That, yeah, I don't really know how you say that. Anywhere specific for the camp? Doesn't seem to be on here right now. But we are going to press on regardless and just keep exploring for now. Find some beasts. At some point I will probably come back to take on that big beast. But at the moment we're just trying to establish a new camp, and that's quite a good thing to do. It just gives you a few more places to disappear back to if you're getting destroyed. That's not letting me over that way. That's okay. I'll head off this way instead. So you do feel like in each zone that or at least each one I've gone into, that there is a full, like, you know, a full ecological environment kind of going on, and it is amazing. You can be battling huge beasts, and then some other monster will come in and either start beating you up or helping you out, not deliberately, just because it thinks that the thing you're attacking is a tastier meal than you. It'll soon turn on you after you finish it off. But yeah, it's just amazing. The place just feels teeming with life all the time, which is pretty cool. Oh, thank you very much. Just food delivery. We're a very high profile channel, so we have our own workforce. That was in no way just my wife dropping off a cup of tea. Make no bones about it. I am both busy and important. But what I'm not is the proud owner of a new camp. Thunderbug? Where's the Thunderbug? There's the Thunderbug. So I feel like we've thoroughly searched this area, and we'd probably be better off branching out and looking for a new... Ooh, another bug. I like bugs. A new zone to explore, a new area. This place looks cool. I dig it. So I head back in this way. So we kind of veered off just because I happened to notice a little gap there. And we'll just see. So look back on the map, see what we can find. I don't really know why all these places are numbered, but they are. Anyway, let's see what we can find. There we go. Went ahead and marked a place that might make a good campsite. Ah, that's exactly where I was heading. So there we go. We'll head to this zone. Oh, I'm going completely the wrong way. Alright, there we go. We're up. That's where I'm going now. So yeah, there are some certain climbable vines. And, oh, that's cool. I can just sort of travel through that randomly. And why not? I'm going to up again. And we'll have something that will make a decent camp. Okay, there's more up to be done, so we have a little look there as well. See what we've got up the top.
Look!
There we go. Little hidey hole to go through. Is this going to be a big monster den, or is this a potential new camp?
Here. Let's ask the head honchos. Sounds like the research base has a new guest. Want to go back and check in? And maybe grab something to eat?
Yeah. So there's exploration, which you've just seen there, and then obviously the last bit is fighting the big fat monsters, but that can kind of be one and the same thing. But we'll head back to the base. We'll probably get assigned a mission to take out that, whatever it's called, Sitsiyaku. So yeah, let's try that. So get back to the research base. You just back out to the map, and then quick travel. Take a seat. That was kind of an enforced expedition. But we finished a couple of research missions on the way, and we gathered some items. Yeah, I've still not found out what the point of guild cards is, but you can collect guild cards from other players that you've met. I think you can hold up to like 50 or something like that. And you can give your guild card to people that you've played with, just people that are in your server. I tend to try and send them out either with people that I've just played a mission with, or just anyone on the server. But I've received a few back, but not that many. Of course, that could be because no one knows what they're for.
Yo.
Ooh.
Oops.
So yeah, as you progress through the story, much like this, it does introduce new core mechanics and new items and new, you know, sort of new elements as you go. So every sort of major mission seems to still, at least at this early stage for me, seems to be uncovering new sort of areas that it might be worth me looking into. There's a lot of tutorials to read back over. It does sort of give you a quick introduction and then saves that tutorial for you to look back at some point. But most of it, the best way to learn is by doing. I think a lot of people play games by just tackling what's just in front of them, and you can do that on this and you'll have a lot of fun still. But if you take even just a little bit of time to, oh, how does this work? Let's open these menus. What does this do? There is a lot more to enjoy and figure out. Some of it I'm still not sure what the advantage or the disadvantages are, but it's an intriguing world. Really, really good world building, good characters, and sort of interesting, slowly developing story. At the moment, the story's interesting enough as it is. It doesn't really need to go anywhere in terms of, double crosses and all that thing. It's just like, hey, look, we're explorers. This is a new world. Let's go out and find what's happening in it. Like, that is enough so far, at least, to kind of pull you in and just say, yeah, man, I want to exist in this world. I just want to be a part of it. So let's go see what we're tasked with completing.
Want to get going?
Balloons, the sky, all of this is amazing.
I like the sound of that. Right, let's go see what we can do here then.
Right.
Is there anything else he needs? Nope. There's our friendly handler. I don't know if there's anything massively need to replenish right now. Provisions. Potions. See, a lot of these traps and things I haven't made a lot of use of. Done a bit of the ammo now, but yeah, there's still a lot of things like this that I've not really looked into so much yet. I will do eventually, just haven't done yet. Alright, I'm gonna leave that for now till I know what I'm looking for. See if there's a quest board, or what I would like to do is just see if any of the stuff that I picked up lets me craft some new armour or anything like that, but I can't see a workshop. At least I haven't found my way down to one if there is one. Maybe that'll come. I will jump out on a mission anyway. We'll go and speak to the handler and see what we can get. See what we can get going.
That's awesome.
I do like the idea of a flying research base. Let's just go for it. Ballooning. So this one, once we get going, we should hopefully be able to invite some people in to join us. There's usually a cutscene type mission bit at the beginning, and then it'll let you know when you can use your SOS flare. But I think you can also, if you're playing as a party, you can join back up before you even go into the missions. You don't need to use an SOS flare to do it. But that's what I've quite enjoyed, responding to SOS flares. So I like to put them up as well, because I'm sure there's plenty of other gamers out there like me that want to just jump in and help someone. Yeah, gather some rewards, get some stuff, but just they're not looking to do their own mission. They're looking to you know, sharpen their skills, gather resources, and just help people out. And so far, I've definitely found that it's been a lovely community. Everyone's kind of just comes in, helps you out. There's no division of resources, so you don't really lose out by them coming in and helping out. I'm saying that, maybe it's different with the money, I'm not sure. Right, let's see if there's any quest-specific ones this time.
Oh yeah.
Oh, there is. We've got some first aid meds, easy rations, flash pods, and vials, which I never bother taking for some reason. Probably because I'm not using a weapon that needs them. Okay, so oh, it's just stuck in. More warm pelt. Footprints. More footprints. What is interesting is how the vast majority of animals will actually leave you alone for the most part. Some of the bigger ones just sense a threat and go for you, but a lot of the littler ones, and even some of the bigger ones, will just kind of only bother with you if they're... Oh, there we go, follow the trail, so now we'll track it down. So basically the little flies, the little glowing flies, they gather information from things like the footprints and any of the markings, and eventually they will pick up the trail and they'll help guide you to the pop or whatever it's called. I keep wanting to say Palomalu. It's probably not that. But where do you go? Just lost him in the light. Yeah, now we're at the point where we can just track. Whoa. Sturdy bones. Oh, lots of bones in that bone pile. Back up again. On the trail. Now, I'm not quite sure how I'm to make it across there. It just says jump. Ah, there we go. Okay, we are nearing the Troy Polamalu. There we go. at this point I can use the SOS flare if I wish, so... Not doing a heap of damage to it. There we go. Okay, so we're getting a bit blunt now, so... Full of potions. Health back up. No, we didn't get to finish sharpening, and we could be in trouble again. Oh, alright. Where's it gone? Where's it gone? It's run off. Right. I am going to use the SOS flare just so I can show you how it works. So basically, if I do this, I just fire it up. You can have it password locked, so you can have only your friends join, but you can also have it that anyone can join. So I've just launched an SOS flare, and that just basically means on the people that are in my server's message board now, it'll put out that I've launched a flare. If anyone wants to come and join the hunt, they can do. They might just completely ignore it. More often than not, you do get a couple of people coming to join, especially if you put it up early enough that there's still... Oh no! So I fainted there, which means that puts me back at a bit of a disadvantage.
Are you okay? If you need help, use your SOS flare to call other hunters.
Yeah, we did. Right, so let's have a well done stick. So all this will do is push my stamina up a little bit, which will help me fight the monster. So it looks like I could have someone coming to join me. So I've got Haruna and someone or other that will now be joining me on the quest. Now they've still got to like launch into the quest, so it might take a little bit before they arrive. Hopefully I survive that long. There we go, so quest difficulty has been adjusted for multiplayer, so it will get a little bit trickier because there's now more than one of us attacking. Which means we should get a couple of people joining us quite soon. Yeah. There we go, so Haruna and Naughty Pup have now joined this quest. Hopefully, they'll be with me quite quickly. There we go. Now we've got Naughty Puppies joining us. Okay, I've been knocked down a ways. How do I get back up there? I guess I'll run around. Whoa! Ouch. So now, as we're kind of working on it together, oh, where the hell would it go? So I've got a bow user. Me with my blind. You know what I've completely forgotten to do? I've forgotten to use my bug I was speaking about before. So I shoot this out, it'll hit there, and my bug will go and try and attach itself. Yeah, there we go. So now I've got an attack block. It's not huge, but put it on. sharp. Trying to keep healthy and keep sharp. Do the most damage. And that's where having other players is a real benefit. So away again. Because they can sort of keep it distracted while you're healing or sharpening your weapon, and just buy you a bit more time. how we're doing for time on it actually, but hopefully we'll take it down soon. Darn. Where's he gone? There it is. we go. One dead beast. In the last minute, everyone hacks chunks out of it, which will become, there we go, pelts and other things that we need. Craft new weapons and new armour. That everyone benefits from that. Those that came to join me, and you can, if you go to the guild card, I can then send that to those 4 guys. Send it to everyone. Search or send guild card. So send that guild card to everyone who has been helping me out as a thank you. Hopefully they'll send me one back. And there we go, that's pretty much everything that I have discovered about Monster Hunter so far. You're spend a lot of time setting up the hunt, getting ready for it, resource gathering, looking for how you're going to upgrade your weapons and your armour. Obviously as you get further in, the monsters are going to get more difficult, and you can start to tailor the elements on your weapons, so what you're strong with, and tally that with the monsters' weaknesses. So if it's weak to thunder, make sure you've got a thunder buff of some kind on your weapon, and also make sure that your armour kind of is stronger against its strength. So once you kind of get all that put together, you can then try and take on bigger and badder monsters, and the different ways there are to play multiplayer, either from the people that you know. That was all complete strangers from around the world, just came, joined, helped me out, we took the monster down. It was obviously made a lot stronger because there were 4 of us, and it still took us quite a while there, 26 minutes on the completion time. I don't think anyone has had a particularly high impact weapon, so we're kind of chipping away at its health rather than if you were a bit more coordinated to get someone in with a hammer or something like that, which takes off huge amounts of health, or some of the switch axes and things. Much slower weapons, so it helps to have people distracting them. And some of the guns actually kind of combine both. So I don't know that I found my weapon, but I'm enjoying the one that I've been using, and certainly just really enjoying the game. As I say, I'll get back from here, I'll get a bit more story from here. I don't want to ruin too much of the story, so I'm not going to jump straight back in. And then I'll have the option of going, right, here's another quest, here's what we need to do next, but you might need to upgrade before you do that, so go out and find some more stuff, gather more resources, build the kind of the skills and the stocks of weapons and resources, as well as kind of getting to know more of the world, researching more of the monsters, so you know exactly what you're doing when you're tracking them. Over time, like some of the earlier large monsters, you gather so much research about them that you will just, when you jump onto the map, you'll just know where they are, rather than having to like track them, because your team has kind of gathered enough research. So this is its strengths, its weaknesses, this is how the best way to take it down, here's the bits that you can break off, or you can do some serious damage to, so concentrate on those, and here's where it'll be. And then you'll come across a new one and you'll know none of that, and it'll be like, here is a footprint, find some more. And once you've got enough footprints, you kind of, the little glowing flies that help you out, they kind of get the scent of it, and then they can sort of track down this rough area, and then you found the monster. Now you don't just kill it once and now you know where it is all the time, but the more times you've got to sort of hunt them, and you can capture instead of kill, and that'll gain you even more research points. And so over time, when you need to gather certain resources, you'll know exactly where to go for how to take it down, and then it's just a matter of actually trying to do it. It's still difficult because these are huge beasts and you're just chipping off little bits of health. And what is interesting is the beasts don't have a health bar. There's no way I can tell, alright, I've knocked off 450 health with those 2 hits, brilliant, how much has got left? You don't know. You have to go on what it does. You're hurting it if it's running away. You're hurting it a lot if it's limping away. And you can use some of that when you know if it's limping or struggling to move, it's in a weakened state, and that's when you know you can catch it. But the game doesn't it sort of takes you through a bit of the tutorial of it, and then it's up to you. It doesn't prompt you to do it for the rest of the game. You can kill every monster you come across, you can capture every monster you come across, as long as you've got the resources to do it. That's where I imagine, unless it's a specific capture mission, that's where it can, the multiplayer when you play with strangers can let you down, because if they don't all recognise that you are trying to capture one of the monsters instead of kill it, you might get 3 guys that think they're helping you out, but they come in and just kill the beast and you're trying to capture it. There are some missions where it's obvious that you're trying to capture, because that's the point of the mission. But if you're just out there thinking, I want to get more resources, I want to get more research points, I want to capture more beasts, and the people that you've sent the SOS flare out and got them to help you, they don't know that, then yeah, they might just end up killing the beast. But it can work the other way as well. You're going, oh, well, I need to kill this beast, I need to take it out, and they actually help you capture it, which is a good thing. That's even better. You benefit more from the capture than you do the kill. But yeah, it's a wicked game. I'm really enjoying it so far. And I thoroughly recommend that you kind of pick it up and give it a try, because it's a lot more accessible than I thought it would be. I feel like in some ways like I've scratched the surface of the ways and the systems, but I'm not a big, deep RPG type player, and it's, there's some stuff in there that is, if I really tried to work it out, I'm sure I could do, but I haven't done it because I haven't needed to. If I do find that I need to down the line, I feel like I've kind of bought in enough at this point that I'll want to. So far, I can kind of get through these early missions quite straightforward way. I've only put about, call it 16, 17 hours into the game so far, but I've got a huge amount of enjoyment out of it. I mean, bear in mind, like back in the day, the PS3 era, I mean, there's some games that you put less time into that and throughout the entirety of the game. And you finish the game, you enjoy it. I'm thinking of games like Heavy Rain. I didn't put 16 hours into that. Original Shadow of the Colossus, didn't put 16 hours into that. Maybe I did multiple playthroughs. But something like The Last of Us, one of the best games of all time. Some people didn't bother with the multiplayer. Idiots, you really should bother with the multiplayer. It's amazing. You should have done, it's not anymore. So you probably spent maybe 12 to 14 hours with that game, and that was it. Enjoyed it and went about the day and remember it as one of the brilliant. Well, I've already put more time into this game and I'm only scratching the surface. It gives you an idea of how big the game is, but it is really enjoyable, and the kind of drop in drop out multiplayer aspect of it, which is different. It's different to anything I've played before, but it works. What I haven't done yet is I haven't had a chance to party up with someone, get on the headset and work through any kind of tactics or anything like that, which I would like to do, and at some point in the future I'm sure I will do. But so far my kind of early 16 hours in, 17 hours in impressions are really, really positive. Yeah, I think it's an awesome game that deserves all the accolades it's getting. How long I keep playing it for, I don't know. Right now I don't see it slowing down at all, but you never know. There comes a day when the next big game comes out, and I feel like with the story on this one, it's just deep enough to kind of keep you going, but it's also just shallow enough that I wouldn't, if I did take a bit of time off from it and came back, I don't think I would feel particularly lost with the story, and all the character builds are pretty accessible. I think once you get to the end game stuff, you maybe do need to be considering exactly what loadout you've got, with what weapon, with, etc. for hunting, but in the meantime, for how far I am in, no, you just pick what you want, get stuck into it. You're going to come against some real difficult battles. When it's worth putting the SOS up, you're going to come across some ones that are much more simple when you can probably handle it solo. Play around with the different weapons. What I found is if you've got when I've been battling a fast moving monster, I've wanted to be able to move around quite quickly, but it doesn't have to be as quick as the weapon I'm using. There's like the heavy gun, that's quite, if you've got the gun out, you move very, very slowly. So you wouldn't want to be against a real quick monster with that. But something that's big, slow, but strong, absolutely you'd want that one to take you down. But yeah, I'm going to keep playing, keep finding out. I'll probably do another stream at some point in the future when I'm much further in, and we'll see if I've settled on a weapon or if I've kept still hopping or changing weapon depending on what I'm facing. But I'm going to sign off there. Probably just head back to the hub world, but I'm going to sign off here because it's probably going to go into a little bit more story, a bit more cutscene at this point, which I don't really want to give too much away. I've sort of given the introduction to this mission in a way. If you've not played the game, it was all out of context anyway. I really like what's happening in the game. It's an interesting story, but like I say, it's not so deep that I'm gonna, if I take a couple of days off, I'm gonna go, oh, what was happening, where am I? You know, there's enough for you to understand the world, and it's like, right now, go and live in the world, and then it just drip feeds little bits of story development as you explore it. Give you a reason to explore and encourages you to do so. But yeah, awesome game. Really, really enjoying it. But for now, this is me, Spooklebeans, taking yet another intermission. Thanks for watching.